Hi, guys. Fire away.
Patrick, the situation at left tackle with the changes, and you've been with three guys there now this season. How has that affected you, do you think?
I don't know if it's affected me too much. I mean, I've played with all those guys before, and I know those guys are out there battling. They're out there, and they've played winning football before. And so I just go about my business, go about my process, and try to stay within the scheme of the offense. And then when stuff breaks down, I try to go out there and make plays. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do.
After that last sack in the fourth quarter, you looked like you were pretty upset about that. Did you talk to Andy about making a change at any point there?
I did not. No, I was more upset just because I felt like there was people open, and we hadn't scored in the red zone. And so I knew that was a big drive, and I think I was just more upset about the fact that we didn't execute at a high enough level in the red zone.
You've had a chance to watch DJ work a little bit here. What are your initial impressions of him?
Yeah, I mean, you see how talented he is. I mean, the physical gifts are there. It's been cool to watch him interact with other guys, too. I mean, you can tell he's smart. I mean, he's willing to teach guys, which is big in that room. We got a lot of young guys there. And so I've been very impressed, and I'm excited for him to get more and more work with more and more practice and hopefully be ready to go as soon as possible.
Patrick, obviously you guys want to play perfect every game and you want like a progression all season, but I wonder in some ways, do you enjoy the sort of problem solving and sort of resetting of everything as you go as part of the whole process?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if enjoy is the word for it, but I think it keeps you motivated, which I think can be a good thing in the end. I think sometimes I look back on the year we lost in the Super Bowl, and we were very dominant throughout the regular season, and it's just kind of like you get in this point where you start coasting because you're winning games, you're just kind of doing the normal thing. Whereas if you look at us last year, even though it didn't go the way we wanted to, I feel like we just continued to work every single week, and we knew we had to get better, and we didn't let the details slip, and we ended up playing our best football at the end of the year. And so that's the hope, is that with all these close finishes, we're getting wins, but it's keeping us hungry so that we can try to continue to get better as the season goes on.
Do you feel like, it's kind of a funny way to put it, I guess, but have you evolved already this season? I mean, do you feel like, okay, I can see the progressions, we're forming even though things look a lot the same at the end of games?
Yeah, I think we've done better offensively. I can speak to it, of course. I mean, just we've done better executing the offense, going to the right positions. I've done a better job of giving guys chances to make plays. It's just little plays here and there that have kind of stalled out drives. If that's the deep shots that I've missed to Xavier or other guys, or if that's the red zone and not executing at that time in the red zone. I mean, there's plays in games that if we just make that play, the offense scores 30 points, and we're not even having this discussion.
Patrick, to kind of follow up on that, I mean, you've had the three championship seasons have all kind of been a little bit different. This year, your record is much better than last year, 11-1 versus 8-4, but some of the peripheral numbers maybe aren't even quite as good, right? Do you feel like this is a championship team? Is there a point before the end of the year that if you don't feel like yet you're there, that you need to get to before you get to the postseason, or can you just flip that switch after?
I mean, every team I've been on, I feel like has been a championship team. It's been plays here or there that have either we've lost in overtime in the AFC Championship game or lost in the Super Bowl. But I feel like we have the talent and we have the coaching staff and we have the work ethic to go out there and win any football game. It's about going out there and doing that on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis. And I feel like we have those guys that are motivated enough to do that. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, it never is. You have to really play your best football at the perfect time in order to win a championship, and that's what I've learned through my time in the NFL.
Does pressure come on? I mean, everyone was playing a championship caliber team. You mentioned you feel like you've had that every year, but maybe more than any other team, maybe the Niners, but your season is going to be about just winning the Super Bowl. Other teams can get to the playoffs or win a couple of playoff games. It's going to be a good year. For you guys, it really is just one thing. Does that weigh on the team? Does that create stress that maybe other teams don't deal with?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's the reason you play the sport. I mean, I've never had a team that I didn't believe could win the Super Bowl, and so I don't know what I would be doing and how I would be acting if we weren't going to the playoffs. I mean, my goal at the end of the year is to win the Super Bowl, and nothing else matters.
Patrick, I saw an interview, Max Crosby talking the other day about how he makes maybe you take advantage of the quarterback rules over on the sideline. We saw this Trevor Lawrence hit. I think we've talked about this before on that one play when you didn't go out of bounds. I'm guessing you feel like you're not trying to take advantage of any unwritten rules about hitting quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing football at the end of the day, and I don't feel like I've ever put anybody in jeopardy of not wanting to hit me. I mean, I know when you get an open field, guys want to hit you, and I get down when I feel like it is necessary to get down, but there's times in big spots in the games where I know I need to get first downs, and I go for it. And so just not taking advantage of any rules. I think more than anything, it's me being smart in the moment of knowing when not to and when to go for it. And you've seen that from me in the playoffs, and I feel like you see that from me in big spots in games because I know that sliding at that moment is not going to get us the win, and I'm all about winning.
Do you feel vulnerable when you do
do slide. Do you feel like that does protect you when you slide? It just seems like you're kind of a little bit defenseless in that moment.
Yeah, no, I'm big on when I do slide, trying to get the head down because at the end of the day, man, it's a split-second decision, and I know guys playing the sport, I mean, for the most part, 99% of guys are not trying to hurt anybody. They're just trying to make plays, and those guys are flying down trying to stop you from getting first down. So when I do slide, I try to get my head down as quickly as possible and try to avoid those situations. But that stuff happens in football, and luckily Trevor's all right because, I mean, that's the most important thing. But at the end of the day, I think everybody's just going out there playing the sport that they love as hard as they can, and sometimes bad things happen, but hopefully we can move through it and learn from it.
How much respect do you have for Justin Herbert as a counterpart here in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of respect. I mean, he's one of those guys that, like, every ball he throws is a perfect spiral. You can tell he can throw the football as good as anybody. He works extremely hard, and I think what gets lost in it sometimes is how tough he is. I mean, he battles through a lot of injuries. He plays the game the right way, and I played him in a lot of great football games because of the type of talent that he is.
We'll go last three, start with Nate. Go ahead, Nate.
Patrick, obviously you see it in practice a lot, and I just wonder from your perspective if you guys are on the plus side of the field, similar to whether it's against the Saints or obviously the Raiders on Friday, if you can tell maybe beforehand that Travis is going to lateral the ball to Samaje, or if it's maybe something that is more designed than maybe people realize.
Well, it's not designed at all. He's like the only person that would do it. I know it sometimes looks like that, but I think it's more of him just being in this offense for so long that he knows where guys are that are running different routes. And so the play the other day, he was just kind of a check down guy. He was open. I was going to throw it to him, try to get as close as I can to fourth down, and so I can try to convince Coach Reed to go for it. And he laterals it to Samaje, and he makes a play. But he does that in practice, and it started off as kind of a joke. And then now it's kind of become a thing. And as long as he completes it, Coach is going to keep letting him do it, but he knows the consequences if he doesn't.
Yeah, Patrick, what do you see from the Chargers secondary, especially coming off the 4 interception performance?
Yeah, I mean they're so I think the best way they're so good at their scheme, and they know where the weaknesses are in their scheme and how to cover those up, and then they have the talent to do it. And so I think it all starts with Derwin. I mean he's a great football player. He can play anywhere on the football field, and he's going to make plays happen. But they have a lot of other guys as well that are playing extremely fast. This is a really good defense. It'll be a great challenge for us.
That's one.
Patrick, speaking on that lateral, this Sunday, Josh Allen had a pretty special play with his own. I know the Chiefs didn't invent the lateral, but Travis, this team, do you think they've had an influence on this league as of late with that play?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I think it just comes down to guys that know how to play ball and are confident enough to do it. And if you look at the two guys that did it in that game, it's Amari Cooper, a guy who's had success for a long time in this league, and Josh, and a guy that had obviously had a ton of success. And they're football players more than.
Hey there, Chiefs Kingdom. It's time for another big matchup, and this one's got everything on the line. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs facing off against the Los Angeles Chargers, a game that could decide the AFC West. Yeah, it's that important. Now, you already know the Chiefs have secured a playoff spot, right? But the division title? That's still up for grabs, and guess what? A win over the Chargers this Sunday could slam the door on their chances and put Kansas City one step closer to locking it down. But before we dive into all the juicy details, let me ask you something. How confident are you that the Chiefs will clinch the division this week? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. Oh, and while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Your support is what keeps us going, and we're on a mission to hit 2,000 subscribers. Can you help us get there? Every click counts. Alright, now back to the game. The Chargers might be down, but they're not out just yet. And with a divisional rival like Los Angeles, you know they'll bring everything they've got. But let's be real, this season, the Chiefs have been a force to be reckoned with, even when things get tight. Ready to break it all down, let's jump into what this game means for the Chiefs and why it's the matchup to watch this week. So here we are, 11 wins, only 1 loss. Sounds like smooth sailing, right? Well, not exactly if you've been following closely. You know this season has been a roller coaster for Kansas City. Sure, the wins keep piling up, but there's been a recurring theme: close games. In fact, 9 of those victories have been decided by just 1 score. Yeah, 9, that's the most in NFL history through 12 games. Pretty wild, huh? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some fans are calling it luck, while others believe it's a testament to the team's grit and resilience. Where do you stand? Are the Chiefs just riding a wave of good fortune, or is it their ability to pull through when it matters most? Let me know in the comments, and while you're there, how about a quick poll? Do you think the Chiefs' close games are a sign of strength or a reason to worry? Cast your vote below now. Let's talk about what's been working and what hasn't. Patrick Mahomes. Still doing Mahomes things. He's leading the offense, making clutch plays, and keeping defenses on their toes. But it hasn't been all smooth. The offensive line has faced some challenges, and the defense, while solid, hasn't been quite as dominant as last season. The big question is, can the Chiefs tighten things up before the playoffs? Because if they can, we might just be looking at another Super Bowl run. And if not, well, let's just say the path to the top won't be easy. Stay with me, because up next, we'll dive into what the experts are saying about this team. Are the Chiefs still the team to beat, or is there trouble brewing when it comes to the Chiefs? Everyone has an opinion, and if you've been keeping up with the analysts, you know the takes have been all over the place. Some believe Kansas City is still the team to beat, while others think they're skating on thin ice. Let's start with the skeptics. NFL analyst Rex Ryan isn't exactly buying into the Chiefs' dominance this season. According to him, the defense is average as hell, especially when it comes to defending against the deep pass. He's concerned that this year's squad just isn't the same powerhouse we saw last season. And he's not alone. Adam Shine went as far as to call them the luckiest, flukiest team he's seen in 20 years. Ouch. Now, here's a question for you. Do you agree with these critics, or are they being too harsh? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's see where the kingdom stands on this one. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. On the other side of the spectrum, you've got guys like Pat McAfee, who's still all in on Kansas City. His take: they haven't even played their best football yet. That's a scary thought for the rest of the league, right? And then there's Jason Kelce, who points out that as long as you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you're never really out of it. So who's right? Are the Chiefs living on borrowed time, or are they simply pacing themselves for a deep playoff run? If you ask me, it's probably a little bit of both. They've faced challenges, sure, but they've also proven time and time again that they know how to win when it counts. What do you think? Which side of the debate are you on? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear where you stand. Next up, we'll look ahead to the upcoming game against the Chargers and why this matchup could be a turning point for the Chiefs. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom, it's time to look ahead. This week, we're facing a familiar AFC West rival, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, you might be thinking, we've already beaten them once this season, and you're right, but don't sleep on this game. It's more than just another divisional matchup. It's a chance for Kansas City to lock in the division title and send the Chargers packing for good. Let's break it down. The Chiefs hold a 3-game lead over the Chargers, and a win this Sunday would officially eliminate LA from the race. But don't expect them to go down without a fight. The Chargers are a physical team, especially on both lines of scrimmage, and they've got talent on both sides of the ball. Quarterback Justin Herbert, he's no slouch. This guy can sling it, and if our defense isn't on point, it could be a long night. Their wide receiver corps, led by Keenan Allen, is dangerous, and Austin Eckler is always a threat in the run game. So what's the key to victory for the Chiefs? It starts with protecting Patrick Mahomes. The Chargers' pass rush is relentless, and our offensive line will need to step up big time. On the defensive side, we've got to contain Herbert and force him into uncomfortable situations. Turnovers could be the difference between a win and a loss. Now, here's where I need your input. What do you think will be the biggest factor in this game? Is it protecting Mahomes, forcing turnovers? Shutting down the Chargers' passing attack? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, drop your score predictions too. By the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Your support means everything to us as we push towards our goal of 2,000 subscribers. Every like, comment, and subscription helps grow our community. Alright, we've set the stage for Sunday. Up next, we'll dive into the implications of this game and what it means for the Chiefs' playoff run. Stay tuned. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. This game against the Chargers isn't just about bragging rights, it's about shaping the path to the playoffs. With a win, the Chiefs wouldn't just eliminate the Chargers from the divisional race. They'd also take one giant step closer to securing the AFC West title for the 8th consecutive year. Think about it, winning the division means locking in a home playoff game at Arrowhead. And if you've ever been to a game or even watched one on TV, you know how electric that atmosphere is. Home field advantage in Kansas City. It's not just a luxury, it's a weapon, but there's more at stake. The Chiefs are currently battling for the top seed in the AFC, which comes with a first round bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Every win from here on out is crucial, especially with teams like the Ravens and Dolphins hot on their heels. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. The Denver Broncos are technically still in the race, but their chances are slim. For them to win the division, the Chiefs would need to lose out a scenario that seems unlikely. But hey, this is the NFL. Anything can happen. Here's a fun question for you. Who do you think poses the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Is it the Ravens with their balanced offense and tough defense? Maybe the Dolphins with their explosive playmakers? Or is there a dark horse team flying under the radar? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's see which team gets the most votes. Before we move on, a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and help us hit that 2,000 subscriber milestone. Your support is what keeps us going and allows us to bring you the latest Chiefs news, analysis, and updates. Up next, we'll wrap things up with a final look at what this game means for the team and for you, the fans. Let's finish strong. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom, we've covered everything from the challenges on the field to the playoff implications. But before we wrap up, let's talk about you. You might not be on the field making plays, but trust me, your role is just as important. Every comment you leave, every like you drop, every time you share a video, it all helps fuel the energy behind this team and this community. We're not just fans, we're a family united by one goal, supporting the Kansas City Chiefs on their road to victory. And speaking of energy, if you're lucky enough to be at Arrowhead for the game, you know what to do. Be loud, be proud, make sure the Chargers feel every decibel of that home field advantage. Not going to the game? No problem. Join the conversation here. Let's make the comments section as loud and passionate as Arrowhead itself. One more thing, how confident are you in the Chiefs heading into this game? On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you stand? And what's your final score prediction? Let's see who can get the closest. As we head into this critical matchup, remember every game matters and every fan matters. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's hit 2,000 subscribers together and keep building the best community for Chiefs fans on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Chiefs! See you in the next video.